Justin Lee writes, so when filmmakers go into making a film, of course they go into thinking that this has the potential of being a great film. But at a certain point during post-production, the composer has seen the actual scenes that we put together, the editor has seen and put together all the scenes, the sound department has seen all the scenes and synced the sound to them. You have all these people that have pretty much seen what the movie will look like. Shouldn't at some point on movies like Spiderman 3 or movie 43, where the majority dislikes the film, one of those people say, this is not a great film. Keep up the good work, guys.
Okay, so the key word here is post-production. It's at the end of the movie. I mean, you can't, see, by the time you're at that stage and you're editing it and the director sees it and the producers see it, it's already, it's practically done. You have all the time, the energy, the money, especially the money, it's already been spent. All the marketing campaigns are ready to go. What are you gonna do? I mean, you see a movie, you're like, at the end of the day, you're like, oh, that wasn't that good. I mean, what's the most you can do is maybe scale back some of the marketing, change it up a little bit. But after all that money spent, you can't do much about it. This reminds me, every time there's a discussion about this reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, Jon Favreau used to do a show called Dinner for Five, where he would get a bunch of actors and filmmakers together. They'd converse about the industry and talk about their experiences and all that stuff. And he had one episode with Michael Rappaport, Sarah Silverman, I think a couple other people. And what they talked about was how do you know? When you're in a movie, either you're directing it, writing it, or you're starring in it, how do you know you're in a good movie? You're hoping it's a good movie, but at the end of the day, they likened it to like a basketball on the rim, whether it's gonna fall in or it's gonna fall out. You really can't tell towards the end. I don't know, do you guys think any differently, Trey?
No, I'm with you. You know, I've heard actors say where they've gotten a script and they're in the movie, and you know, they on script, on paper, it sounds great, and they're in the middle of shooting it and they're going, I had no idea what this movie's about. And that's not a good sign. So I've heard them say that, and that's in the middle of production. It's like, we're not really shooting what's on the paper here. What's kind of going on? So, but when you get to the end, man, you're screwed. So the only thing you can do is video on demand and not do any marketing. Which is why I don't understand when, you know, Keanu Reeves' most recent movie came out. You knew
47 Ronin?
Yeah, 47 Ronin. You knew that was gonna bomb. Yeah, you just knew it was gonna bomb. Why they put any advertising into it at all? They should have just went, well, we're gonna scrape this underneath the mat for a while, and we're just gonna release it on video on demand. But no, they blew through another, you know, I don't know, $50 million worth of advertising, which was asinine.
Yeah. What do you think, David?
I think this reminds me of the story of Alien 3. With David Fincher directing when he was very young, who we all know does amazing movies with The Social Network, Seven, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Amazing director. This was his first big budget project. And what he was saying, he doesn't even really take interviews. He doesn't even really discuss Alien 3. He's kind of just forgotten about it. But what Sigourney Weaver and the other cast members were noticing is that everybody was just following him around set. He had a couple producers just watching over him, making sure they didn't mess up their baby, their Alien franchise. And he had a horrible time. He left the set before post-production started. He left. And I think it just shows there's so many moving parts. Sometimes it works out. Like, let's look at World War Z last year. We heard a lot of horror stories about that. Reshoots, $200 million plus budget. David Lindelof came in, rewrote the third act, but it actually ended up being a decent film. Yeah. So sometimes people do catch things and it works, but not all the time. Sometimes it's just, there's just too many moving pieces, and it, like a car or any mechanical thing, it just breaks apart.
Well, I'm glad you brought up that point about the moving pieces, because that's also another element where you have, well, the actor, he's set to do this part. The screenwriter does this part. Really, the director is the one that's kind of overseeing it. That's why he takes the credit and the blame for a movie when it comes out. It's like, you know, obviously producers have something to do with that as well, but he's the guy that has the vision and is supposed to look over everything. And so, yeah, if it doesn't turn out well, you know, he's kind of the guy. He's
like the coach of a sports team.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the captain of the ship. Everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's got to be one person that's got to be accountable for everybody. Unfortunately, a lot of times it is the director. Yeah.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news, and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.